Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make some decorations and I'm going to just use up some old book pages. I'm going to do circles, but you can use the paper as they are. You can make hearts, kind of like this, and paint on, or whatever shape you like to work with. I think that circles is always something that you can have as a background, and then you can add color, you can add texture, you can add textile, embossing, whatever feels suitable for the project you're working on. So we are going to do painting and mark making, and then do a couple of these ready for the journals. I'm thinking that these can be perfect for pages you want to maybe do a top spot. Instead of doing a belly band, you can use a circle and just glue up and down or sideways. You can put it in a corner and have it as a top spot. You can cover something up with it, or just make it beautiful and use it as a decoration. They are a good way to always have something to decorate with. So let's play. I'm going to do neutrals and also some with some more bright colors, so that you can see what differences you can make. And of course other shapes, but I'm going for circles today, but do whatever you like and think works for you. It's this is just an example how you can do it. So I'm going to water up my watercolors. I also have a Stabilo Woody black one that is water soluble, and I have a Derwent Graphic 7B just to make some marks with and do some fun. And then we might even take some acrylics and use that just to, it's more easy if you want to do a tactile circle where you can feel things, can make marks that you can really touch. I like that sometimes too. And this time I have put gesso on all the circles. And if you don't have gesso, you can use white acrylic paint. It works the same way to stop the water from soaking into the paper too quick. So if you don't have gesso, use white acrylic, or if you want to have something colorful, you can use any acrylic paint you want and do like a background, and then use watercolor on top of it if you would like to. That works. I have just learned that, and so I'm never going to buy black gesso again, because I can use my big bottle with black acrylic paint. That works totally fine. So I'm just going to do some fun marks with this, and by doing it on paper like this, I don't need to be afraid to that I'm going outside any lines, because I'm going to cut it afterwards. So nothing to worry about. And then I'm just going to put on some paint. And you can make different kind of shapes. You can do a background and then cover it up with something else. You can use salt and make some patterns. I'm trying to keep kind of the circle so that you can see easier, but when you paint you don't need to think about that at all. I'm leaving it like that to dry, and then we can do something more on top of it. Need to take my other brush. This is a cheaper brush, a Transon from Amazon. They are perfectly good to paint with and have a super nice edge, but it won't hold water as the more professional brushes. This is a Winsor Newton. So if you have started using these more professional brushes, it really feels funny to go back to the ones that are a bit less working, if I can say so. They don't lose any bristles or something like that, but you need to dip them into the water much more often, and when you're going to soak up some color or change something, it doesn't work as well. I didn't think that it should be such a big difference, but it's better to buy 2 brushes that are a little bit more expensive than buying 10 that you are disappointed on. Another thing you can do is to put plastic wrap on top of these while they are drying. Then you will get a nice pattern to play with later on. Or whatever plastic you have, a bag, but thin, so you can crumble it up and make some creases, and that's a bit more fun. So should we give this a little more color? And then I'm leaving a few white spots, but that's up to you. Nothing you need to do, just because I do it. We have been in the forest today and picked mushrooms, the yellow ones. So then we went home and made a stew with onion and meat. These newly picked mushrooms. It was really, really nice. And Nico was running without his leash for 2 hours, so now he is totally exhausted, sleeping as a baby. He was so happy. I will show you some pictures here. You can see what we have done. It was this kind of weather where it's perfect. Not too hot and not too cold, and almost no wind at all. So it was so relaxing to walk around and searching for mushrooms, and then we yelled find and then the other one was running with the basket and picked. I think I need to learn Nico how to search for mushrooms, so he can help us when we are in the forest. Let him get the smell of one, and then he might be able to show us where we can find more mushrooms. I think that could be a perfect way to activate Nico and get mushrooms at the same time. Win-win situation. I think I did have that idea when I got Nico, but then there were so many other activities to make sure that he learned, so I forgot about it. We are doing nose work with these special smells that you can learn your dog to find. So I guess to make him search for mushrooms wouldn't be any problem. He knows how to do it, so I think I need to try that next year. Start early. So let's go for a pink one. So this is kind of the background, and then we are going to work on top of this with other colors and patterns. You can also go in with a pen when the watercolor is still wet. Make things happen. It's a little bit wet. You can soak it up and make some other patterns too. Let's continue to play. I have made sure they are dry, so we can use some micron pens and make some more patterns. So let's see if we can play a bit with these circles. I have prepared a few, so you already have something to look at. I took this one and I sewed around it with some embroidery thread, so it got a little more worked on. The same with this one, sewn around the edges. And this one got a little decoration with a color swatch, some cheesecloth, piece of textile and some French knots. There was some thread there I didn't want to have in the way. So kind of like this you can do with your circles and then use them as decoration. So this was one of the circles that we painted. So let's make a bigger decoration from this one. So let's start with putting it down on another paper first. Kind of building up layers. That, and then we can just take another piece off and let's put it on a piece of textile. And this is all about the layering. It gets so much more fun to look at if it's got a little more work on each piece instead of just putting it on the page. cutting it off kind of a little bit like it has been ripped. So it's not so perfect. Let's take this piece of linen. Is it maybe a bit too big? Put that down. Keep it down like that. Then I have this piece that is just a cut off from a tablecloth. No need for any sewing, but it's decorative, so I'm doing it anyway. Don't use a long thread. This is way too long and it just gets tangled. So let's cut it off. I think it was meant to be 2 threads, but kind of forget about that. This is much easier to take shorter threads and use 2 instead if it's needed. So this way you can kind of build up the layers and make them look more fun to use. So let's take another one. Let's use up some more of these old book pages. Now let's take one that we haven't done anything on yet. So again, some layering. Making sure that it gets enough of glue. Taking a piece off. You can use stamps, you can use some scribbling, you can use labels, whatever suits your purpose. Use a couple of other swatches that is a little bit more brownish. Getting another layer. Oops. Forget that it's old book pages. That's kind of disappeared a bit. something like this. That one didn't like to be in the game playing. So let's see if this one likes it. I'm not sure why not. Okay. So something like this is really fun to make, and you can have these ready to go when it's time to do some decorations. Just by painting some circles you can make the most fun and amazing things. Making this stand out a little bit by putting just some color around it and wet it. That pen will go to the bin. Okay, so I hope you got some ideas on what you can do with circles, and that it don't need to be so difficult, and don't need to be so neat. You can print with plants, you can watercolor paint, you can embroider, you can use your pre-made stencils and some gold and just splatter color on them, and they can look amazing. Thank you for watching, and go play with your circles and enjoy your evening. Bye bye from Sweden.